Good day, I'm Andrea Chizom and this is your JIS News for Thursday, April 7. Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie says he will be looking at the Public Defender's report on the March 2015 fire at the Riverton waste disposal site to identify immediate corrective measures for the management of the landfill and the NSWMA. Minister McKenzie made the disclosure yesterday in a press statement advising that he was still in the process of reviewing the report. He said a team from the ministry would be mandated to review the report and identify areas where immediate corrective measures may be implemented. This will support the forensic audit of the National Solid Waste Management Authority, which was ordered by the minister, arising from a meeting he had at the entity shortly after taking office. Minister McKenzie says the findings of that forensic audit should provide the basis for a more comprehensive and systematic response to the management and operational issues confronting the NSWMA. The Education Ministry has revealed that approximately $800 million has been allocated to implement and roll out the new Alternative Pathways to Secondary Education A.P.S.E program in September. Chief Education Officer Dr. Grace McLean made the disclosure during a JIS think tank on Wednesday.
It is worked out based on the skill area that is a part of the program that the students will be doing. So the programs, the cost per student ranges from $30,000 to about $110,000 per student. So depending on which institution and the programs that they are offering.
Dr. McLean said steps were being taken to provide the spaces which will be needed for those students remaining for the additional 2 years in the system. Options include approving additional sixth form institutions. A.P.S.E will be rolled out on a phased basis, starting with schools that need the program the most. Youth information centers across the island are to be revamped as the Youth Ministry seeks to use them as hubs for engendering creative ideas among young people. State Minister Floyd Green shared the details recently while engaging youth leaders. He said the intention was to rebrand them as youth innovation communities.
We believe when you put young people together in a space, they can come up with the most amazing environments. So we're going to start looking at our information centers as our thinking labs and creative spaces.
During the discussions, Mr. Green said the celebration of Youth Month would also be revamped and a Youth Advisory Council would be established to give young people a voice in shaping government policies. The Department of Correctional Services DCS is taking steps to minimize the impact of the Zika and H1N1 viruses if any cases present themselves in its facilities. Commissioner of Corrections Ina Fairweather says the medical unit has been sensitizing workers and inmates about the viruses. She adds that the DCS responded well to the outbreak of the chikungunya virus last year and says that model will be used to address Zika and H1N1 if they enter correctional facilities.
Frontline staff would have gotten their flu shots, and we are ensuring that the environment is free of all those things that can account for the breeding of mosquitoes. So we have always had the areas for quarantine.
The sanitation team is also working to keep the correctional facilities clean. Businessman Christopher Zika has been appointed as the new chairman of the National Health Fund NHF's board. The new board was approved by the cabinet this week and includes Brian George as vice chairman. The other members are Paul Hanworth, Dr. David Lowe, Stephen Sykes, Dr. Shane Alexis, Cecile Watson, Lindsay McDonough, and NHF CEO Everton Anderson. Minister of Health Dr. Christopher Tufton says he's confident that the persons appointed will help the NHF achieve its objectives of serving those Jamaicans who depend on public health care for their well-being. The minister is expected to meet with the new board shortly and, among other things, charge them with reviewing options for increasing funding to the health sector, including the feasibility of establishing a national health insurance scheme. And finally, Culture Minister Olivia Grange has declared that her ministry will continue the necessary work to ensure the contribution of Jamaica's musical greats is institutionalized. She was speaking on Wednesday at the Webster Memorial United Church in Kingston during the Thanksgiving service for the late reggae singer Martin Norman Jimmy Riley.
I pledge to continue the work that I've known to have started, to continue to be a partner with you, to complete the process of creating the institutions which will eventually become the foundation on which we can build a very successful and respected music industry, which can make a more feasible contribution to our economy.
Jimmy Riley passed away in Florida on March 22 after a long battle with cancer. He was 68 years old. And that's it for JIS News today. Emmanuel Chisholm, thank you for watching.